Welcome to Alli and Christian Code, the show where passion meets expertise in the world of software engineering. I'm Alli, a former healthcare provider turned software developer.
And I'm Christian, an experienced software engineer. We are here to share our learnings together as we find collaboration is better than going alone. Good morning. We're going to try something a little different today. We have a out-of-the-box Blazor website, which is not different for us yet. But what we want to do is something we're kicking around as a concept of what if this site, instead of having its UI defined by the tags and the template, it had it defined through configuration. We've used something like this in projects related to forms that allow us to configure a form very dynamically. And we're going to see how that might look for a complete UI. So what I have here is the counter page on the out-of-the-box Blazor website. If I run this, we can go to the counter page and we can click a button and the numbers go up and it has a header and a paragraph and a button. What we're wanting to see if we can replace today would be each of these tags with a defined in the background configuration that would then render the same way. I'm not sure if we'll get all of the way there. I'm not sure if the interactivity will happen or not. So we'll kind of start with that as a premise and see how far along we get.
We've done this a lot with our form builder, and setting that up is so slick and so easy, and it's so reusable and so easy to maintain and update that we wondered, gosh, can we do this in other ways to expand that amazingness into other areas?
Exactly. Yes. Something super easy or something simple, I should say, like adding a new text box ought to
Yeah.
be dead simple. But
hmm
if we were doing something like this, it might not be because we'd have to wire up and connect all of these pieces. With that
Yep.
process, you're able to just add a new record and tell it what type of control it is, and everything else
hmm
from there kind of works.
Away you go. hmm
So if we were to essentially want these three items to be dynamically set up through configuration, we would probably want some level of config definition. So let's go for UI config. Do we think this will be an object or an array of objects?
Might be an array
Can we get
for each one. Then we'll have to
started?
have them in the right order.
Yeah. Okay. So if that's our world, then this might look something like a type equal to h1 if beta of counter, right? So that seems at least conceptually in line with what we would want.
hmm
We have a very flexible type set here. Data definitely doesn't feel like it's going to solve all of our problems yet, but getting this turned into something that renders next would probably be
hmm
great. So this won't actually be achieving any of our end goals, but it'll verify that we're able to get the data out of the config. We're able to loop over the config.
Is it a at? How do we
Yeah,
Blazor
yeah, it could be
syntax?
at config dot
Okay.
type. and then maybe a pipe to delimit the type from the data. So we should hopefully be able to run this now. And we see everything that was before. And we do
Mhm.
see our config showing up as p tags. I'd say that's a good step.
Mhm.
Next, let's consider how we would want to enhance this. I think we can do a switch on the
The type.
config.type. Break is how we would do it in JavaScript. Maybe break is not the right.
I
Maybe
know.
it's return.
Blazery.
We definitely doesn't like something we've done. Break statement is missing. Okay, it was break. And then we need a break after
Mhm.
the default as well here. Now we should see the same idea, but with the actual formatted components. Take away that uh, simple case, do some formatting. That looks better. Okay. All right. That's looking promising.
Awesome.
I
Wonder if a
know
clicker
this
will work.
button won't work because I took off
Mhm.
but this one should, and it
Oh, the
should
method.
update the other
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
So, because it's referencing the same
Cool.
object. What would we like to do next?
Would be
Helps
nice if
us.
that button would do something.
Mhm. Yeah, this provides us a rough proof of concept. I think our next
Mhm.
or one of our next steps would be to move these into reusable components of some capacity so that
Mhm.
this rendering wouldn't
Doesn't get.
be as hard strict to
Yeah.
this file.
Yep.
Um, this this wouldn't completely work on anywhere else, so we would need to figure out how we might send that data around
Yep. Mhm.
differently.
Yep.
And then, yes, the event on the button would be good.
Mhm.
Okay, let's think about how could that work? What might that look like? So I had a click event. We might want that to be on our config object.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how to best handle the potential of multiple actions, multiple interactions
Mhm.
on a component. But maybe we start with trying to get this one to work.
Yep.
So that was a void method.
Mhm.
So we might want to change this to say action. Actions in C# are void methods. Um, what might be a good name for this property? Maybe just action.
I think that's good. Keep it pretty generic for now.
And we probably want to make this nullable because
Yeah.
it's not necessarily going to exist on all of them. and might not
Increment
like
count. And
the
where?
idea of it being a private.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Update that.
No, it's not. I think
Whoa.
it's not liking that either.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, I say we need to learn a little bit more about how to pass along delegates and actions to
Yeah.
see how we can make that work a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Where we need this probably gets moved into the data
Mm-hmm.
some capacity through here.
Mm-hmm.
And would update this directly, I believe, is what we would likely see. Kind of interesting. We're almost in that capacity writing our own framework for rendering to some extent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, something for us to take away, to think about, to practice on, to look into, research, to learn.
Yep.
All right.
We'll have to see what we figure out.